It was my 30th birthday. The house was covered in white roses flown in from Italy. The guest list included senators, tech founders, celebrities, and socialites. The media called us the perfect power couple. I called him my husband. But at exactly 9:20 p.m., in front of 500 of the most powerful people in Manhattan, my billionaire husband picked up a microphone, looked directly at me, and destroyed my marriage with one sentence. What he didn't know: I had already prepared for war, and before midnight, he would learn something about me he should have known from the beginning. Never humiliate a woman who helped you build your empire. Stay tuned as I unfold my life story. Subscribe, like and comment on this story, and turn on your notification button, so that you can be notified on the new stories that will be uploaded on this channel. My name is Isabella Lauron. Before I became Mrs. Lauron, I was Isabella Andrew, finance graduate, strategic consultant, daughter of immigrants who taught me 2 rules. Never depend on a man and never show all your cards. Then I met Daniel Lauron. New York City called him the Golden CEO. Founder of Lauron Technologies. AI visionary. Billionaire before 35. But when we met, he was brilliant and reckless. And I was the one who stabilized his investor negotiations. I helped him restructure his debt. I introduced him to European venture capital. I corrected 3 silent financial leaks that would have destroyed him. But in the presence of his friends and associate publicly, I was the beautiful wife. And I allowed that narrative. Because powerful women don't argue with fools. They wait. 3 years into marriage, he stopped touching me. He stopped asking about my day. His assistant answered my calls. He came back from work late. He traveled more. Forgot about home. Came home later. And 2 weeks before my birthday, I smelled unfamiliar perfume on his collar. Not cheap perfume. Expensive one. Deliberate action. That night, while he slept, I unlocked his second phone. Women don't look unless they're ready for the truth. And I was ready for the outcome. The messages weren't romantic. They were strategic. Is she suspecting? The lady asked. Once the party happens, we move forward. Make sure the board hears it first. This wasn't just an affair. This was a public setup. Then I saw her photo. Young. Poised. Perfectly styled. And then, an ultrasound image. Attached with the caption, "She doesn't know yet." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I hired a private investigator the next morning. Here's what Daniel forgot. 6 months earlier, during a tax restructuring, he transferred shares temporarily under my name. He trusted me with paperwork. He trusted me with signatures. He never checked the fine details after. By law, those shares were mine. And combined with quiet purchases I made through a proxy firm, I held 59% shares of the company. Majority control. I didn't confront him. I waited for the birthday. Because humiliation in private hurts. Humiliation in public transforms. The night arrived. The mansion glowed like a palace. A live orchestra played softly. Champagne shimmered. Laughter echoed. Daniel kissed my cheek for the cameras. "Happy birthday, my love," he whispered. His voice was cold. At 9:20 p.m., he asked for the microphone. "My wife Isabella," he began smoothly, "has always played her role beautifully." The word role echoed in my chest. "Tonight, I'd like to announce that our marriage has reached its natural conclusion." Gasps. Phones lifted. Cameras zoomed. I filed for divorce. Then. "And I'll also be welcoming a child soon." And she stepped forward. Wearing white. Hand over her stomach. Smiling softly. The humiliation was surgical. Designed. Calculated. He thought I would collapse. Instead, I adjusted my diamond bracelet. And smiled. I walked toward him slowly. Every heel click echoed. "Thank you, Daniel," I said calmly, "for your announcement." Then I turned to the projection screen. "And since we're sharing news." The screen lit up. Corporate filings. Shareholder registry. Board confirmation. I am now majority shareholder of Lauron Technologies. Silence fills the room. Pure silence for a moment. And effective immediately. Daniel Lauron is removed as CEO. Board members began murmuring. Security stepped forward. Daniel's face drained of color. He whispered, "You planned this." I leaned closer. "You embarrassed the wrong woman. In me you married." Days later, the scandal exploded online. But my investigator delivered final confirmation. The woman was connected to a rival tech competitor. The pregnancy is not for Daniel, my husband. Fabricated timeline. Strategic manipulation. He had been baited. But ego makes intelligent men foolish. He believed he was in control. He wasn't. I was in control. Daniel called me. For the first time. His voice shook. "She lied to me." "I know," I replied calmly. "You knew." He whispered. "Yes." I answered. There was silence. "Why didn't you warn me?" he said. "Because you humiliated me first." I replied. "But I didn't say that. I simply said, actions have consequences." 1 year later. New board. New global expansion. Company value doubled. On my next birthday, I stood alone on the penthouse balcony. No husband. No scandal. No humiliation. Just power. Just me. The city lights shimmered across Manhattan. And I finally understood something. The day he tried to break me was the day I stopped being his wife and became his successor. If you were the one, what will you do?